Afternoon, Michelle. Thanks for joining us here on the sofa for the ACE podcasts. Could I ask, as someone who joined the ACE network in the early stages, could I ask why you joined the ACE network?
Thanks, Lyle, for having me today. The reason I joined ACE Network was that I had my own problems at work, and so felt that I needed to be around people that was probably going through or have been through similar issues that I have. It just made sense to me, and I wanted to put something back in for other black members of Nottingham City Council. So I worked hard to try and make sure that we put ACE on the map. We wanted to make sure we did the presentation to the senior leadership team to spell out some of the problems that our black employees were having, that they'd fed the information to us. So it was really important that we did the right thing by our members, and it seemed to work. The senior leadership team listened to us and put certain things in place to ensure that they were tackling racism in the workplace.
Thank you. So, from what I'm hearing from you is that you could see the progression, you could see the difference that having the ACE network is making.
Yes, I can see it. There's been a massive difference. I see that senior leaders are able to come forward now and maybe have those, what Mel Barrett says is the uncomfortable conversations. That's already started. So I think we're having some majorly big breakthroughs. I still think we've got a very long way to go. I'd like to see more younger members come through the ranks to do more in terms of the work that we want to continue to do. But I think we've started to break down what I've always called not the glass ceiling but the concrete ceiling. We've made massive strides, and you know we've gathered data in terms of the gaps in pay. We're looking at why there's issues around having black and mixed descent employees at every level within the City Council. We challenge the fact that we want more senior leaders that reflect the Nottingham community. And so we've worked quite hard of recent, and I think we've made great strides, and I think we can just go on to do even better.
Because you think that it is important that this network continues with the work that it's set up to do and to see a progression of the ACE network.
Yeah, I would. I think ACE are actually doing some fantastic work, and we are building on the numbers of on the membership. And I think a lot of what we do, it's about having that safety in numbers. I also think that there's a level of support required to our members. None of us are paid, but we know what's right, the social justice aspects. And so for some of us, it's easier to challenge the status quo. But I think there's a level of bravery in doing what you do. But it has to be done. We can't continue going down the same road and seeing that we still have the problems of people, whether they're being recruited, whether they're being retained, whether they're being promoted. And all of those things are really important to a local authority or a public service. It has to reflect its communities. And so for a number of us, we're happy to challenge that if necessary, and maybe look for solutions with officers and the local authority too.
What you are saying, basically, from what I'm hearing from you, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it is what employees are saying to the ACE network that you are feeding up, that is going to make that difference.
Absolutely. So there is a level of trust required from our members that we will do the right thing by them. But I also think, that we're in a good position now. We've laid the foundations. I think the trust coming from the senior leadership team as well. I think they can see that there's merits in the network, and so put their level of trust in there too, you know. So I think things are sort of moving in the right direction.
Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for coming and chatting
Thank you.
today. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for being part of ACE Network.
Thank you for inviting me.